Our region has seen its share of severe weather recently. That's included winds, rain, and even tornadoes. I'm joined now by Justin Gibbs. He's one of the lead forecasters for the National Weather Service in Paducah. Justin, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be here.
So when we see severe weather like we did on Friday, could you tell us the role that the National Weather Service plays before and after?
Yeah, absolutely. Our first role is to analyze the weather, analyze all the information that's coming in, determine if anything dangerous is going to be coming up in the next 7 or 8 days. And then we start to let folks know, hey, here's what's happening. It's going to be a good day, going to be a stormy day. We let the general public know, you and your family. We let our media partners know, emergency management, first responders, state and local governments. So basically, our job is to let everybody know before the storm gets there that there's going to be a risk. That way, when the tornado warning goes out or the severe thunderstorm warning, that people can take shelter, because usually then you've only got about 7 or 8 minutes. So being prepared, ready to go, and then when the warning comes out, that you can react. And then after the storm, we assess what happened with our surveys, rating the tornadoes, determining what was tornadic and what wasn't. And then we determine kind of what our forecasts look like, what our warnings look like, where we could be better, where we're pretty good, whatever it is that needed to be done. So we'll evaluate that so we can get better later.
Right. And then what does that process look like serving an event like the size of the one we had?
Yeah, when you have an event of this size, you work the tornado event, and then you say, okay, where has the worst damage occurred? What damage might be cleaned up, before we can get to it? Who do we have available? Because sometimes we have events coming later, and then we make a map, and we go out, start working through the track, working through with the emergency managers to locate that damage, and then get a look at sort of the peak of it to begin to assess it. So a couple months ago, it took us about 2 weeks to get everything done, where with this event, we had intense but fewer tornadoes, so we're for the most part been able to get things done a little bit more rapidly than we have in the past.
Right. You mentioned, it's a little bit different than the past for sure. Do you ever come across things that might surprise you during these surveys? Yeah,
pretty regularly you'll come across things either meteorologically that are surprising in that, man, I really thought we would have a big tornado based on what we saw, and we don't, or this is a little stronger than what the radar would have suggested. And then also just the chaos of the scene, where you can have immense damage where a building is destroyed or down to its foundation, but there's a teddy bear laying off to the side of the bushes or things like that. Like the enormous chaos in terms of, and this was really tore up and then this was mostly left alone, and trying to figure out how that happened, which for the most part it's impossible, but to think that the atmosphere can do these things is always humbling and kind of awe-inspiring when you go out there and see the damage.
Yeah, and it's fair to say we've had our fair share of severe weather this year specifically. Is this out of the ordinary for your team to see?
Yeah, we're up to 54 tornadoes in our area of responsibility, which includes most of this region, which is above average for the year, and we're early in the year. Now, we are coming out, hopefully, out of our peak of a severe weather season, so we'll hopefully not end up with too much more than that. So we're above average. We're not, oh my goodness, world record average, but this has definitely been busier than normal, especially over the course of the last 2 months.
Right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.